Hey everyone, in this video I'm going to show you guys one of the most amazing holiday/Christmas duct tape crafts ever. Duct tape wreath. Isn't this wreath just one of the most adorable things you've ever seen? I'm going to be showing you with this little wreath base, by the way, because this one took a few hours, not gonna lie. And I am going to do a separate video on this bow. I will show you how to do it in this video, but in the other one I'm going to go much more in depth because I think it deserves to have its own tutorial. I actually came up with the design of this bow completely on my own. I watched some other videos that cut like 30-inch strips of tape and I'm like, I don't want to deal with that, and I didn't like how it tied together, so I did a completely different method for this bow. And I think it turned out pretty darn cute. So let's get right into making this wreath. First off is the wreath. I got mine from Michael's in the floral department and it's by 3 ring circles. The smaller one is the 6-inch size and the larger one that I already have complete is the 12-inch size. I used Duct brand duct tape. The green was completely new, so you can see that the large one took up that much tape. These wreath bases I bought are very inexpensive, 99 cents for the smaller one and $1.99 for the larger one, but if you want to cut that cost all together, you can use cardboard to make your own. Using a cutting board and an X-Acto knife will make your life so much easier and it will make this project fly by more quickly. My self-healing X-Acto cutting board is from Walmart. I got it for $10, and you can get X-Acto knives from any craft store and maybe hardware stores. Initially, I am laying down 5 12-inch strips of green duct tape. Cut these down into a bunch of 3-inch strips. I find it easiest to lay out the strips like this and then start from the top and cut all the way down on every single row. So at the 3-inch, the 6-inch, the 9-inch. Now you're going to turn all of these 3-inch strips into triangles. There's going to be 3 points per row, side, side, and middle. I'm going to place this point near the inside and just fold it over. Fold the tape over to the back and make sure it sticks down well, and then fold the other side down. Take your next piece and fold a triangle again. So to fold a triangle, you just fold down one corner, then you take the other corner and make sure no white's showing at the top. Stick that down really well. You should have tape left over at the bottom so that can stick it to the wreath base. Sorry I'm losing my voice, but I want this point to be on the outside of the wreath. I actually want it to hug that outside edge. This time when you fold it over, you don't want to see this on the edge because then you'll be able to see that on the front and it won't look good. To avoid this, you can either cut a little bit off, or what I do is just kind of take it and fold it a little so you can't see it on the edge there. It doesn't matter at all what the back looks like. Now I'm folding my third triangle, and I'm going to place that point in the middle. So just like that, and then fold the tape behind like you did the other times. So there you have your first row, and you'll need to fill the entire wreath base with these triangles. Remember the pattern in which you place them on. Since we did inside, outside, middle, we're going to do that again every single time. So inside, outside, middle, every single time you place a new row on. You want your points to generally line up every time. It can have a little bit of variation. Here's what mine looks like after 5 rows or 15 triangles. As I go along, I'm also cutting little strips of tape to put on the back to make sure everything is sticking down and not popping back up. Now I have filled this with 66 little triangle guys. Now we have to finish this a little bit differently because the pieces are getting too big to put on and they start to overlap at the beginning. So I have started to create some 2-inch strips. You're going to fold these into triangles as well. It doesn't matter how much extra tape is left. And then depending on how much room you have, you may have to cut off some at the top. You can lift up some of the beginning triangles to fit this one on better. Tuck it under the same way. This is the spot that you're going to have to put the bow on at the end because it's going to look a little bent and messy, but the bow will cover that right up. At the very end, my strips have been 1 inch by 1.5 inches. Still folding these into triangles and sticking them on. And then do whatever you have to complete the last row and make sure that none of the wreath base is showing. And then this is the very last point I am putting on. Now I'm going to show you how to make one of these big pretty bows. If you're using a smaller wreath, you'll probably want to make the bow smaller as well. Yeah, that's kind of a little overwhelming for that poor little thing. Start out with 4 12-inch strips of duct tape. Turn one over to the sticky side and take the other, pull it as tightly as you can, and then you're going to line that up as close to the edge of the other one as you can. pull really tight when you're doing this. You'll probably end up with a little white because it's hard to get this perfect. You can just trim that off, and the easiest way to trim is to fold it in half and trim that way, as opposed to trimming like this, because then you'll cut crooked, probably I do. Anyway, you're going to do this same step with these two pieces of tape. So turn one over, sticky side up, and stick the other one on top of it, so you get a double-sided panel. Take one of the 12-inch strips and fold it in half. Then you're going to fold both ends to the middle crease. Once you have that done, take a very thin strip and just add that to the crease to join it together a little bit while you're working. Take your other 12-inch strip and fold that in half as well. This time you're going to cut along the crease. Now you have two 6-inch strips. You're going to fold this in half at the bottom, fold downward so the two corners meet. From this corner to the side, you're going to cut diagonally and it will form a triangle when you open it up. Do the exact same thing for the other side. You can use this as a guide when you fold it. So I folded that down and there's the guide, and just cut along that. Take this 12-inch loop and you're going to fold it up together like that. Pinch the middle, and then you're going to fold each side down to meet on the back so it looks like this. I like to pop the bow up like that in the front. Then you're going to take a strip for the middle and just wrap that around. Then your bow will look like this, but do not join that on the back yet because you're going to stick your little tails into that spot. So with each tail you're going to fold up, and then you're going to fold each side down to that middle. So like that. It's kind of like an accordion fold. And then what you're going to do is you're going to stick this in and put a tiny piece of tape to attach it. Then do the same thing for the other side. Make that little accordion fold and attach it with a little piece of tape in there. Here's the second tail, and then there's a little piece of tape I attach it with. Now you need to pinch it together. So you'll notice this loop that you put on at the beginning, you're going to tape down now, and if you need more stability, just cut another loop and put it right on top of that and wrap it around again. Finally, if you notice that your little tails are flying out too far, then all you have to do is attach a little bit of tape to kind of hold it to the middle more. If you can see that, I just have a little piece of tape and it's holding them. That little piece of tape goes a long way. It makes a difference between it looking like this and looking like this, which I like this way better. If you want to make a smaller bow, you'll have to mess with the measurements a little. Instead of making a 12-inch strip, maybe make a 9-inch strip, and instead of it being the same width as a roll of duct tape is, which is nearly 2 inches, maybe cut it down to 1.5 inches and see what happens. Basically, this is a very repetitive craft, but it pays off in the end because it looks awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this craft, and if you make your own, please post a video response to this video or post a picture on my Facebook fan page, my Instagram, or my Twitter, and check out all those links in the down bar, by the way. And remember to watch my duct tape bow video. It's going to be the same thing but more in depth, and maybe I will show you how to obtain like different sizes of the same type of bow. Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, and I will see you guys soon. Bye! Whoa, hair. My hair is in the middle, smack dab. Oh no, I'm gonna ruin it. Oh, I would hate to be one of those baton roller people. Oh shoot. That would be stressful. I keep catching it by the bow. No. There, I got it. I can't juggle these. Happy holidays. Okay.